Is Call of Duty Vanguard a good game? Well, we'll be answering that question by giving a review. So this is coming from a person who plays in Japan and plays on PC. So that is my perspective on it. But we're going to start with the good and then the bad. But to start it off, all before that, I need to tell you that I wasn't even able to play the game until this morning, about 12 or so hours maybe after the game launched, because for some reason I just could not connect to the servers, so that already gave me a pretty bad impression. However, I was able to log on this morning and experience the game for myself. I was able to play the game for a good 5-6 hours straight and actually give my thoughts on it. So let's go ahead and start with the good. So number one, the performance is really good. I'm actually getting like 90 frames. It has really good visibility, very smooth, and the movement is very, very smooth. It's a lot faster. Sprint dart time's a lot faster, and overall the gameplay and the mechanics and the play style is really, really nice. It feels like a good mix of run and gun, but you could also just chill, camp it out if you want to camp it out, and just relax. The time to kill is pretty good too. The combat pacing is what really makes or breaks this game, in my opinion, because 6v6, we'll talk about that after, but Blitz and Assault is pretty goddamn exciting and fun to play. So I really like the combat pacing in this game. The amount of options you have in terms of the guns you can use, the attachments you can use is really nice because of the new pick 10 system. There really is no reason to not use one of those slots unless you're trying to be elitist like me, where I was trying to just use the iron sights just so I could be cool. But honestly, in my opinion, using an optic makes the experience so much more fun because you're actually going to be getting more kills. The map selection is really nice. There are quite a bit of maps. I don't think I played all of them. Maybe I have now, but I think after 5 hours of playing, I was able to play all of them except for Red Star. I haven't played that again, but good variety of maps. There's a lot of different environments you can play through, so it's not all just the same gray looking place. Everything has a very different vibe. You have desert maps, snow maps, night maps, morning maps, all that fun stuff. So there's a nice selection of maps that you get to play. And my favorite map is definitely Castle. I loved Castle back in World at War. So them bringing it back, bringing it in HD and making it like destroyed and stuff is really, really nice. So Castle is definitely one of my favorites to play on. It turned out really nice. So at the end of every game, instead of just having the play of the game kill cam, we also now have the MVP voting thing. So another way to monetize the game, I guess, because every time you do it, there's like a different kind of action that the characters will do. You can grind for them, and I'm sure in the store they're gonna have a bunch of bundles that sell a bunch of different things, and it's just another way to make the game more social. And honestly, speaking of social wise, there was actually a lot of people chatting and a lot of people talking that smack in the post-game lobbies when you're saying, yo, vote for me, yo, vote for me, vote for me, bro, I did all this stuff, right? And you get experience for doing that as well. So it's a nice little fun social feature, and I think they did a really good job with that, and I'm sure we're gonna get sick of that really soon. And I really like the gunplay. There's a good amount of recoil on there. There's a lot of curves and things you got to learn. And it's not just super easy mode. And speaking of the gunplay and the guns, they finally made the guns sound loud rather than being this super quiet little pea shooter. And the audio overall has gotten a lot better. It sounds less muffled. Everything sounds a lot more clear. And the guns smack in your face, which is what I really like. So kill streaks are a good idea in my opinion. I feel like it really does bring up the tension, makes the game more fun. That's something that kind of Cold War lacked. And there really were no stakes ever in a Cold War match, which is why it was kind of boring. But with Vanguard, having kill streaks back is nice. And because the way the gameplay is designed, people are allowed to run and gun, it doesn't feel as campy or cheesy to just get kill streaks. You actually kind of have to earn your kill streaks, which is nice. And speaking of perks, Ninja. Ninja, I think, is a good idea. I think it's a good option for people to have. And Dead Silence also being a secondary option, which also gives you Ghost, is a good way for you to not make Ninja a crutch perk. And that was what I was kind of concerned about, because Ninja would be just the thing you have to select all the time. But luckily they put Ninja with the Ghost perk in the same tier, so that way you can't just be super stealth. You actually have to make a decision. So if you want to go Ghost, you can pop Deady, and the other way around, right? So I like that Ninja is not a crutch perk, and there really doesn't seem to be any true crutch perks as of yet. There's a lot of weapons in the game too, so I really like that. There's a lot of options. Each weapon has like their own distinct characteristics. STG is a great all-around rifle. You have the bar, slow firing, low recoil, very powerful gun. We got the what was it called, the Automagon or whatever, the automagon or whatever. It's the Japanese rifle, and it honestly shoots like the M13. I think that gun is going to be the next M13. I'm going to be making shorts on each of the weapons, just of how I feel about them. There's a lot of weapon conversions you could do too. So with the STG, it's not only an assault rifle, you can convert it into a very fast rate of fire submachine gun. So there's actually a lot more guns within guns, which is going to be really nice. And speaking of the guns, the camos are pretty dope. I actually like them. They're not too flashy aside from the mastery camos, but they actually seem appropriate and they don't seem too boring like they did in World War II. And speaking of the mastery camos, the gold looks like ass, but whatever. The diamond looks good. And that atomic is like copy pasta Damascus, which is kind of disappointing, but it's animated and cool. And I think this year I'm actually going to go for Damascus, which will be really cool, or atomic. Okay, so let's talk about some of the bad stuff now. A lot of these things can be easily fixed, and a few of them are just quality of life stuff. So the first quality of life thing that I want improved is the objective HUD when you're capturing something or something happens on your screen. It goes right in front of your reticle or wherever your reticle is supposed to be. So I can't see when I'm capturing B flag and I'm trying to aim down sight and trying to kind of guard the lane. I literally cannot see like anything in front of me. And I kind of want that to be moved up a little bit or something like that, or make it a little bit less opaque. But that is something that's a little bit annoying, but I think can be fixed in the future. So I'm kind of disappointed there's no weapon inspects. I don't know why they just can't do weapon inspects. If we get that stupid XY normal weapon inspect for every single gun in the game, I'm gonna be pretty goddamn disappointed. That was one thing that Cold War did nice. Cold War actually had lots of different unique weapon inspects that gave the game a lot of flair, and I'm really disappointed that there is no weapon inspects as of yet, but I'm sure they will add them, which is kind of weird because you have 10 attachments and you could just really play around with everything. And it's kind of disappointed that they don't have weapon inspects, which is also disappointing. They don't have a shooting range like World War II had. I think that with all these different kind of attachments and the way you want to experiment, you have to have this kind of closed environment where you can do that really easily. And the shooting range was amazing in World War II to do that. And I'm thinking that, like, why won't they implement that into Vanguard? I don't know why. I hope they do that in, like, Caldina when that comes out. Maybe in Warzone, they'll just have a shooting range so you can test all the weapons from all 3 games, which would be a really, really convenient way to test things out. But I wish there was a shooting range so we can do some testing and just see recoil patterns and stuff like that. So the next one is the audio. So while I said the audio was good, one thing that is kind of bad is I can't hear footsteps. Now, that kind of goes hand in hand with dead silence in Ninja. Like, maybe the person had Ninja or maybe the person had dead silence on. Considering that when I even first started playing the game and everyone was the same level, not many people had Ninja. So I still couldn't hear footsteps around me, which is weird, but I couldn't hear them for 2 reasons. Either A, they're too low, or B, there's just so much shit going on, so much immersive sound going on in the entire match. So there's explosions, gunfire, shouting, everything, blowing up, dogs, everything. There's no point. I can't hear footsteps anyway if they're on or off, especially on those outside maps where shit is just hitting the fan. But on the inside maps, like that stupid submarine map, which is trash, by the way, you can hear the footsteps. You can hear them and it's all right, but that's literally the only time that you can hear footsteps. So all the other times I can't hear it, whether they have dead silence or not, because there's just so much shit going on at the time. So I feel like a little bit of audio mixing needs to be done there to kind of make the footsteps a little bit louder and then maybe the ambient audio a little bit lower. But at the same time, I do appreciate that there's a big, huge ambience, Battlefield 1 kind of immersiveness going on here in this game. So in terms of gameplay, although the movement is very nice and smooth and much faster than it was before, I am a little disappointed there's no slide canceling tac sprint spam cheese. And I know it's intentional for them to delete that kind of feature because I guess it does get a little cheesy, but hopefully they just keep that for Warzone because getting from one place to the other can be a little scary if you don't have the maximum speed that you can have. But I guess if we are going to be getting the perks from Vanguard into Warzone, lightweight will solve that issue. But it just feels weird. It's just one of those like, oh, I'm so used to double time slide cancel sprinting. So that's kind of a little bit of a quality of life thing on there, but it's not that big of a deal. One big deal for me is no drop shotting. So they intentionally designed it so you can't drop shot. So you'll come out of ADS when you drop shot somebody. And drop shotting has been a Call of Duty staple since Modern Warfare 2, I think, or maybe COD 4, and it's weird to not have it. So we talked about combat pacing and how combat pacing is really good, but this game's 6v6 is pretty mediocre. I don't like the 6v6 game mode, especially in hardcore. The maps are just way too big, and sometimes you just will never see anybody for a long time. So kind of sucks for 6v6, but for assault and for blitz, this game is rock solid. I really like that we have those options, but I do fear if this game doesn't do well in the future, when it starts dying down, that you won't be able to find enough players to get a blitz match or assault match going, and you're just going to be stuck with the 6v6. Hopefully that doesn't happen. The next one here is nade spam. So much nade spam, especially in hardcore. It's awful. So there's just so much nade spam. I wish that in hardcore they had the indicator for the grenade, but in regular modes it's all right, but there's just a lot of nade spam going on. But I do like that you can throw the grenade out faster, but there's a lot of nade spam going, but that's just a nitpick. Spawns, yo, bro, spawns are bad. In some of the maps, like on Blitz, you'll just get spawn camped hard. And sometimes they'll spawn you in front of people, but I'm going to give them a pass on that because that's natural. The algorithm does have to learn it over time, and they'll fix the logic over time. So it's only going to be bad for now, but hopefully they fix that in the future. And the last thing here is leveling weapons is long AF, man, dude. It is so long. I think it takes like 5 hours to get your one weapon finished, and then another 4 hours to actually get gold on one weapon. So I feel like they need to bump it up, or something's got to change, because it is long and daunting, and it kind of just burns you. It's gonna burn you out on this game, bro. And I'm gonna go for atomic camo, so not looking forward to that. Just leveling the weapons like Black Ops Cold War all over again. Maybe zombies will be better for it, but I haven't tried the zombies yet, so we'll see how that goes. But definitely when Warzone comes out, I'm just gonna plunder half of my weapons. So, but anyway, Vanguard is looking good, to be honest. It's probably one of the smoothest Call of Duties I've played. It has some good things and some bad things, just needs a little brushing up here and there. Content-wise, this game feels very, very complete, aside from zombies, apparently. But I'm enjoying what I have right now, and I can't wait to hop back in after this video and play the game for the rest of my goddamn life. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about Vanguard, and we'll see you guys in the next video. We're gonna have a lot of content on Vanguard this year, and I'm excited. So, see you then.
Allies calling a mortar barrage. We took the advantage.